Good morning. Hello there. Welcome to another Kerfuffle Partnerships webinar today. I'm delighted to have here Sandra from Dataloft and Heather from the all-conquering Spectre. How are you both doing?
Brilliant. I'm very well. How are you, Simon?
Good. Three people with resplendent hair, no matter what Christopher Watkins and his ilk have to say. I will apologise straight away. I said to you offline, I am in the equivalent of Alan Partridge's Travel Tavern, so we'll see how their Wi-Fi puts up. But if I disappear, just talk on without me, okay? Guys, I love these ones because it's actually it's great companies talking about and finding ways to work with each other. Not least, of course, because both of you were placed in the top 40 ideas recently at A Masters. So congratulations on that front. And Heather, you've got the street coming out. It's all just too exciting for words, isn't it? And you've moved, and as you're just saying, you couldn't be more happy because you're now virtually a neighbour of mine. So the audience weeps in sympathy for you. Talk us through, if you could talk us through exactly then, what's the partnership all about and when did it start?
Do you want to kick us off, Sandra?
You're so polite.
So, this all stems back from when we, Sandra reminded me actually this morning, we were originally talking about this integration years ago when we met at the Kerfuffle launch event in Tiger, believe it or not, Simon. I know.
Classy fella.
Yeah. And it was very much, we have a method of getting the right message at the right time into the hands of potential vendors or potential landlords. And Sandra had, the stuff the content that could make that letter really, really powerful, doubly powerful. So yeah, this has been a long time in the making, hasn't it, Sandra, in terms of actually building this?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've both had clients on both sides of the equation saying, you had clients saying, can we get our Dataloft content into the letters or into the prospecting? And we had clients saying, can we use this content in prospecting? So it was just a really logical step, wasn't it? But it's taken a while to get it integrated. Yeah.
One of the things that we're always looking out for is when clients are doing things manually and we think, God, that must be taking a lot of time. And we had loads of clients who were manually putting in what they were getting from Dataloft into their Spectre letters. So, eventually you think there's got to be a better way of doing this.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. It's good to hear that one of our Oompa Loompas was central to the launch of this. I like to think that this is now officially a Kerfuffle referral, so that's all fantastic. And talk us through actually how this will be seen by, let's say, for example, Spectre clients. What's going to be the difference? What are they going to be able to do?
Okay, so it's really simple for our clients. So any mutual Spectre and Dataloft clients, all they have to do is enter in an API key. Our success team can talk anybody through this if they're not sure. And we've done various training videos and all that sort of stuff. But all they have to do, enter in the key, and then the rest just happens magically. So the Dataloft infographics with up-to-date stats and information that are area-specific automatically flow through into a beautifully presented Spectre letter with really nice infographics. Obviously, Dataloft have got amazing graphic designers. And those colours are matched to the logos of the company, so it's all on brand. And then the beauty of it is that those stats and those infographics are automatically updated every month. So the agent doesn't have to do anything at all. And every month they have bang up-to-date stats that go out with their Spectre letters.
Oh, fantastic. I mean, sorry, go on, Sonia.
Yeah, I was going to say, from our side of the fence, the step before that from our side of the fence is that as a subscriber to Dataloft Inform, first thing you do is set up your local area. So that local area is in the system named as you want it named, whether you call it West Manchester or actually I can't even say what's it is, Salford, West Manchester, I have no idea. But anyway, whatever name.
How dare you?
Salford. Okay, sorry. Whatever name you as an agent have given that locality, that is how it will appear. And then those areas are saved on our side of the system. And then, as Heather said, in our API, there's an auth token. The auth token routes you straight through to the local area that you've defined and everything associated with that. So your brand, your colours, your logos, your contact details, all linked to that auth token, which goes straight over to the Spectre side, and then it all happens over there. So it's really simple.
Sounds great. Have you actually got clients up and using it yet, or have they tested it? And what's the initial feedback?
Yeah, so we've tested it. Our first sort of trial pad was Leaders Romans Group. Is that correct? And it's been really successful. We weren't even going to launch unless it was successful there, but it's been a big success there, and we've got some extraordinary return on investment figures, which I don't actually understand how they were calculated, but they're in the 1,000%. So yeah, it's a big number, but yeah, they've been really happy with it, and it was really on the back of that we felt comfortable to go, okay, this is ready to go out to market.
Yeah, we actually got a fantastic testimonial recently from LRG in terms of exactly the return on investment and how many vendors and landlords they got off the back of one of these Spectre plus Dataloft letters. So the beauty of Spectre is, and obviously with Dataloft, is if you send a letter and then that vendor subsequently switches agents and instructs you, or if you're a landlord and they receive a letter and then instruct you, we can track it. So it is slightly easier to check, basically, is this sort of stuff working?
For us, sorry, Simon. For us, that is one of the big appeals, actually, because while we know instinctively that what you get from Dataloft Inform is a huge benefit to the business, it's actually quite difficult to measure return on investment. So what we've got, through this integration with Spectre, we've got those return on investment figures on that part of the system, which is a huge asset for us.
And it's very hard usually, isn't it? A lot of suppliers struggle. They can talk theoretically about ROI, but actually being able to nail it down is much more difficult. There's intangibles, brand awareness. But obviously this is fantastic. And you're right, Heather. I mean, I think I remember reading it out. I'd have needed the auto cue to remember the ROI figure because there were too many numbers in there, to be honest. But no, I mean, the fact that that the agents can demonstrate this and record this themselves is a fantastic tool, because it sounds a bit trite, but then as every salesperson wants to bounce themselves away from, they don't want to be a cost, they want to be an investment, and being able to demonstrate those ROI figures makes that much easier, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
One of the things, actually, if I may, thanks, Sean has commented there's a link to the LRG figures and their success that you can find on our website, and you can also find it on the ICG website as well, if anyone wants to delve into what they did and what they achieved. But yeah, something that I spoke about at EA Masters that I believe quite passionately in at the moment is that there's a bit of a perfect storm for agents, in that there's so much going on in the property market that many people want to hear from an agent that they trust and that they think knows what they're doing and is informed, basically. Informed being the key word there, Sandra. And I think things like this, where the agent is demonstrating their knowledge in whatever shape, or colours or whatever it might be, but that's exactly what Dataloft Inform do. I think helps play into the people want advice right now. They want to hear from somebody that knows what they're doing. Exactly, they want experts, and we're definitely seeing that shift back to people looking for that. So I think that's why it's working so well. And
Sandra, you were talking about this at EA Masters, weren't you?
Yeah, we had that. We had those amazing stats, didn't we? From that, the Property Academy survey, 35,000 responses. I mean, it is absolutely unprecedented, that number. And yeah, 75% of people, of vendors, said they choose their agent on market knowledge, confidence in ability, and trust. And and that's it, isn't it? You can't write a letter that says we're trustworthy and we know our stuff. That's not going to work. But if you actually have the letter that is showing those stats, that's showing that market expertise, it's show not tell, isn't it? There's no point telling people you're the best. You want to show that you have that really in-depth understanding of your local area and your local patch, that market knowledge. And that's what this does. Perfect.
I'm going to stop the email I had going out later that said I'm the best and that I can be trusted then, because I thought that was really funny, but you're saying that doesn't work now. Okay.
No, what you want is a stat that says 100% of people who met at the Kerfuffle launch party have resulted in a collaboration.
I can't believe I missed that opportunity, me of all people. Okay, it's great. And Grant, one of the Dataloft's finest, just says the feedback from agents so far has been amazing. So that's really, really good to hear as well. In the kind of the intro that you guys sent over talking about this, the bit I liked about it, I'll just read it through if it's okay. It says here, Dataloft Inform and Spectre users now have the power to send hyper-local letters with local data, insights, and design provided by Dataloft. The letters are accessed directly on the Spectre system and are married with Spectre's best on the market property data. The letters will target vendors and landlords with persuasive, relevant and eye-catching content. That's absolutely fantastic. But I think that point that right in the start of that hyper-local is the absolute key here, isn't it? Again, and as you were saying, Sandra, I've not seen a better company visualize that local data, because agents can unfortunately get a bit too kind of Excel happy, can't they, with their stats? And as we know, the public just don't warm to that, do they?
It's a very dangerous game. I mean, we're all bombarded with stats, aren't we? Every night on the news, you'll see all the stats about, you know, the COVID numbers, and we're people are very comfortable with trusting numbers. But actually, there's a huge risk in just letting the computer generate numbers. You know, so what we bring to the party is we're not just going to. These are not just numbers that the computer's calculated. This is genuine insight. So we've looked at that local area that the agents defined. We've checked that it's sensible and it makes sense in terms of, you know, market activity and so on. And only at that point do we actually authorize it to be a local market area. So yeah, our numbers are not just simply a bit of maths inside the computer. They're actually there's a combination of the computer and the human element actually getting we prefer to call it insight rather than stats.
Perfect. And just talk us through, is this available to all of your existing clients on both sides?
All of our existing clients who subscribe to both Inform and Spectre.
Okay.
Sorry, Sam, just to add to Sandra's point before, one of the things that we really dug into from a Spectre perspective, because obviously we do have the luxury of seeing the return on investment for all of our clients, is, you know, why do some clients get a higher return on investment than others, and what are they doing differently? And typically things like having this sort of attention grabbing, juicy, and it is juicy for a homeowner, the hyper local stuff is eye catching. It grabs the attention, and if anything else, even if they read just that, it's fine. You know, you've got your brand under their nose and you've given them some information that they find interesting. And I think one of the big things that this integration does is allow you to do this, but without having to employ a graphic designer, without having to, like you said, Sandra, get your head in Excel stats and potentially get it wrong, and without having to refresh these manually every month. You know, this is automatic, and you get benefits of having the graphic designers at Dataloft and all of this, you know, updated stats without having to do the work. And I think it's a huge benefit for any agent, really.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, I always talk about Dataloft in terms of, unless you're going to go to the degree of having investing in your own research department, like Savills or you know, Knight Frank or something, that's the perfect outsourced opportunity for Dataloft again, isn't it? And as you said there, Heather, if you could double down on that saving with the graphic design element there, you're in a pretty good place, aren't you, in terms of optimizing this just absolutely key message out to your clients.
Yeah, and that's what our tech product. You know that we're what we call ourselves a housing market economics consultancy, because we do a lot of consulting work for, I don't know, big house builders, institutions, policymakers, and so on. We've got a whole team of people doing that. Inform is our prop tech product, where we've automated that sort of that insight and made it. I guess we've sort of democratized it. We've made it affordable for a high street agent who doesn't, who, as you said, doesn't have a head office team at, with Knight Frank and Savills. Yeah, we've made that accessible for any agent anywhere in the UK at the local market level.
Fantastic. We've actually, I'm just to show I am worth my my salt here. Here we go. I'm doing support for you as well now, Heather. Rebecca's just asked, how do we access these letters on Spectre, please? I'm guessing they need to just get in contact with you to enable that, or are they readily accessible for everyone to see?
So it's actually on your settings page. You'll see a little page called, I've opened it here. The easiest thing might be to just ask your customer success manager to do it for you. But if you want to do it yourself, I should know this, and I don't. API integrations. So settings, API integrations, and then you'll see there a little Dataloft section, which is where you add your auth token, which Sandra mentioned before. And Sandra, you find that in your Dataloft account, don't you?
That's in your Dataloft account and in the API section. Yeah, but again, it's customer success team. Very happy to help you do that. We've got a lovely little video on both sites, haven't we, that shows you exactly. It's a really simple process.
Yeah, and if you email success,
just to prove that Heather's not in an ivory tower anymore, she can get back in there. It's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, Rebecca, your customer success manager on both sides will absolutely love to help you get this set up and running. So don't struggle with it.
Excellent. Are there any other ways you see this benefiting agents then?
For me, because I'm obsessed with this sort of stuff. I'm obsessed about what works and what doesn't. I think anything that makes you stand out from your competition is fundamentally what you need to be looking at as an agent. And this really does. I mean, they look so good and it's so different and it's so attention grabbing that I can't see that it wouldn't not work, because it's a differentiator, isn't it?
Yeah, and just on the same theme, but I mean, everyone knows that agents do prospecting. Everyone knows if you've got your house on the market, after a period of time, you will receive letters from other agents saying, hey guys, it's been on the market a while, what about us? And they probably go in the bin, don't they? Because they all look the same. So this letter is going to stand apart from all those other letters, and it's going to immediately shout, okay, somebody's bringing something different to the party. They understanding that my concerns here, I want an agent I can trust that is professional, that knows their market, not that has the local market knowledge. It will just look different, won't it? As simple as that.
Yeah.
As opposed to the standard, dear homeowner, we have many houses like yours that we have sold recently. This is a very different proposition, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Sorry. Yeah, just finish that one. We've got letters that go out. Is it 6 weeks, 9 weeks, and 12 weeks or something? And I love like the 12-week one. We've done a whole kind of roundup, and it's basically saying, look, your house is still on the market. Look what's happened in that period that your house has been on the market. We've got the stats that say how many sales have happened, and that's going to really kind of, that's really going to hit home, isn't it? With somebody who's had their house on the market and it's not sold, and you can see that literally hundreds of properties have sold in your local area in that time period. How come mine hasn't? So it's a really hard hitting numbers.
Yeah. Seth Godin was obviously EA Masters, the world's greatest marketeer, most prejudged, and his famous book was, of course, The Purple Cow and Standing Out from the Crowd, and this is just a tick in that box, isn't it, in terms of making sure that you are different to everybody else, basically.
There has been quite a lot of thought from both parties in terms of what infographics are going to land the most at what point. And if you have, like Sandra said, been on the market, so I've just opened that one up, I've got one in Bath actually, and it says number of homes sold in Bath in the last 3 months, and then it's detached, semi-detached, terraced and flat, so all the different types with the numbers. If you're still on the market at 12 months receiving that letter, it's a powerful seed. Yeah. So there has been quite a lot of thought in terms of what's most appealing when.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, and what have we got here? So somebody's just pointing out, can't believe that any business got done at that launch. Just the thought of it as you to fulfill your dream of dancing with Oompa Loompas. I don't know what's more worrying about that is the actual statement or the fact that it's a generic Facebook user. I'm gonna shut that down now because we don't know where that could go. Although that very same generic user has just made the point, can't wait for the street. So that's not what we're here for today.
Not the street, Simon. It's just street.
The street, okay.
Yeah, it's just a street.
I've never been one for getting the stuff right, have I? Talk us through the pricing, guys. How's it work? Do they pay for a subscription on a monthly basis? Is it per letter? How does it work in terms of the tie-up together?
It's really, really straightforward. So if you're a subscriber to Dataloft Inform, you pay us. If you're also subscribing to Spectre, you pay them, and there's no additional charge for the integration. It's just if you're subscribing to both products, you get this capability.
Fantastic. So, I mean, you're really delivering on that kind of open API desire to work with each other and just making it easy to make that happen. So, that's absolutely fantastic. So what's the other point I needed to ask is, will agents have to log on to a different portal for access? They won't, from what you're saying there.
No, they'll just it'll all be done via Spectre. Once they've set up on our side of the fence, everything happens over on Spectre.
Fantastic. Absolutely great. Well, look, I think there's obviously fantastic you guys getting together to do this stuff. Obviously, you're incredibly, obviously, you're titans of the industry in terms of, obviously, that was reinforced again with those awards there in the top 40 at EA Masters. And of course, both of you are incredibly highly rated with multiple, obviously, reviews on the Kerfuffle website, which is great to see. It's always very easy for me to throw my unbiased backing behind companies like your good selves there. Sean's just jumped in there as well and just said, yes, of course, don't miss out for the big launch event for Street. Hang on, you're launching this more often than I launch Kerfuffle, aren't you?
No, the official launch event, 24th of November. We're so happy with the response from everybody, but yeah, don't miss it.
I bet you are. Yeah, I mean that's fantastic. Well, look, that's not what's today about is. The other thing we should say, of course, is you've both been really, really kind again for our Kerfuffle members. You've both got separate deals. So look, if there's somebody out there that hasn't heard of the pair review, first of all, why not? Where have you been? But you do have the ability to sign up with both Dataloft and Spectre for this service and get two exceptional deals for Kerfuffle members. So I think I'm right in saying, Heather, and again, as long as I don't misquote this, they get 50% off as long as they sign up in the next month or something off the first month's subscription.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
And then again, we've got you for Dataloft. You benefit from the first month free, don't we, as well?
That's the one. Yes.
Absolutely fantastic. Well, that's really, 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 really good. So everybody obviously urge you to either get in contact with these two directly and just obviously mention that you're interested there, or you can go directly to either of their landing pages and just click I'm interested, and we'll pass on obviously all of the feedback and come back. Guys, that's fantastic. More of the same. That's great. Absolutely, absolutely great. Love to have some conversations with some of those clients when they're out there using it, because I think that'd be a really interesting panel show to have in a few weeks' time or a few months' time when you can get that going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good idea.
Thanks for having us on.
Good stuff. Great to go. Have a great weekend. I've got to get back from Grantham.
Cheers, Simon.
Like that.
Cheers.